Let's talk about what's going on with the Medicare Supplement plan situation that's happening leading into 2026. If you are currently on a supplement plan or you are considering one, this video is for you. If you are not on a supplement plan, you're not considering one, this video doesn't really apply to you. I'm going to go over what is happening, why it is happening, and then clear options for you moving forward. Now, record-breaking increases have been announced or have already been put into place for supplement plans all over the country. On top of that, several insurance companies have closed their blocks or done something called dead pooling. And before we go too crazy about the bad, please know that there are plans that are experiencing relatively low increases, even 0%. But nationally, the average is upwards of 13% for the most popular plan letter, Plan G. And I've now seen several 50% increases, a mid-60s% increase, and an over 70% increase on certain plans. Now, there are two distinct disadvantages to Medicare supplement plans in general. One is that they only cover the Part A and Part B gaps, so they don't cover prescription drug coverage, dental, vision, or hearing, leaving you to purchase and pay for standalone plans for those other areas of healthcare if you want that coverage. And the second disadvantage is related to all of that, which is the fixed monthly cost to have these plans and those standalone plans, whether you use them or not. And these price increases don't make this conversation any easier. Now, insurance companies that offer supplement plans, advantage plans, and drug plans are getting destroyed with the amount of healthcare claims over the past 2 years. When this happens, we all suffer in the form of increased premiums. Now, I have a link in the description of this video that shows some of these supplement plan cost increases across the country, both from national data sources as well as individuals like you who are willing to submit their increases. If you'd like to see what others are experiencing, go click that link in the description. If you'd like to anonymously submit your cost increases to help others, you can do so as well. But please watch here on how to use that sheet first. Here is what it looks like. And this first tab is where you would put in your information with your plan. Put in your insurance company in the first column, your previous monthly cost in the next, followed by your new monthly cost after any rate increases. And then the next column will automatically calculate your percent increase. So you don't need to worry about typing that in or calculating it. However, I think we would all appreciate it if you put in your state, zip code, plan type or letter, and your age. Now, I'm not asking for your name or phone number or email or anything that would identify you with your entry. We're just trying to help as many people as we can see the rate increases that others are experiencing throughout the country in specific areas. Now, this first tab is where you would put in your information, but please don't try to sort or filter or alter this tab because I'm going to take anything that you put here and transfer it over into tab number 2. And as you can see, tab number 2 has everyone else's entries in it for you to look through. I did it this way because those who subscribe to my newsletter got first access to this, and a subtle hint to subscribe to that free newsletter if you haven't already. Lots of smart people were starting to filter and sort this spreadsheet, which kind of messed things up for everyone looking at it. So this is the workaround. I'll sort this second tab from smallest increases to the largest increases as I update these with your numbers from your submissions. Now, the last tab would be data from other third parties tracking this information. It is more general and doesn't show costs for specific ages or specific plans, but it is still interesting to see the average increases for these insurance companies across the country. So go check that out to see what others are experiencing and to put in your information as well. Now, prior to last year, meaning prior to 2024, we would generally see an average of a 5 to 7% increase each year for both Supplement Plan G, the most popular Medigap plan, and Plan F, that is no longer available for those new to Medicare in 2020 or later. Plan N was lower at between 4 and 6%, and all of these numbers are for open block plans. Open block means that the insurance company is accepting new people into their supplement plans. I'll get to that in a little bit more detail here in a minute, but the quick importance is that open block plans typically increase at lower rates than closed block plans. Taking the high end of that range, so 7% increases per year, meant that you would generally see the monthly cost of your supplement plan double in just over 10 years. If you went on a supplement plan at, say, age 65, and your Plan G cost you at that time $150 a month, at about 75 or 76 years old, you could expect that your cost for that same Plan G would have grown to about $300 a month with those increases. Plug in whatever number you want as your starting number, and if the increases are at about 7%, you'll still be doubling about every 10 years. Well, 2024's average increase was at 9.8%. Let's call that 10% on open block plans. 2025's average increase is a 13%. And everything I'm hearing from various insurance companies and well-informed people in this industry are saying that 2026 is not going to be much better, and it might actually be worse. But let's just use the 2025 average of 13% increases. That means that your expected plan costs would double every 5.5 years. Using that same starting point of $150 for Plan G at 65, this time at 75 or 76 years old, assuming a 13% increase each year, would be an astonishing $600 a month. And Plan N isn't much better with an average increase of 11.6% in 2025. Now, these kinds of increases are just not sustainable for most retirees. I am getting messages daily from people who are going through this and who are worried about paying these amounts, especially healthy individuals who are seeing these increases on a plan that they just never use. So why is this happening? I made a video that went over the astronomical amount that the US spends on healthcare, and that is one of the reasons. More specifically, more people are seeking more expensive healthcare more often than the past. Insurance companies use something called a loss ratio. It is the amount of money that they pay out in claims compared to the amount of money that they bring in through the monthly premiums that you and your pool mates pay. Over the past 4 to 5 years, the average loss ratio has risen from about 77% up to almost 85%. We have seen loss ratios in the upper 100% in 2024 and leading to 2025, meaning that for every dollar the insurance company brings in premiums, they are forced to spend almost $2 on claim costs. And I guess the good news here is that the rate of increase in loss ratios is plateauing with the most recent data, but it's still hovering right around that 85% mark, which still leads to these higher increases. Now, I do want us all to slowly back away from the ledge here. I don't believe that we will see 13% increases year over year over year for 5 or 10 years on open block supplement plans. I don't believe that this is the end of supplement plans. Again, as we mentioned earlier, there are plans in the single digits, but there is a definite rebalancing around the costs of the supplement plan system given the current healthcare spending climate. Let me tackle that closed block word that has been hinted at during this conversation, and another term for it is dead pooling.
Oh, hello.
Some insurance companies play a little game with their supplement plans. They will start a supplement plan in a given state. They will come in with really low rates and get people to buy the plan because of those low rates and because of the myth that gets circulated all the time around Medicare supplement plans are all the same, so just pick the one with the lowest cost. This is not a wise strategy because of what I'm going to explain. Lots of new sales come in, and after a few years, that insurance company closes the block or closes the pool of people on this plan, meaning that they no longer allow new sales into this plan. This is a dead pool. The insurance company opens up a new supplement plan with the same letter, but a different pool that they will now sell and put new people into, but not that original plan that you bought into. This becomes problematic if you are in a closed block or a closed pool because the basics of insurance revolve around the idea of younger, less costly individuals coming into a pool to keep costs lower for everyone. Less costly individuals subsidize more costly individuals within that plan's group. Well, if a company closes their block, there aren't any newer, younger, hopefully less costly people coming into that plan to help control the costs. This leads to a general idea that closed blocks will experience higher rate increases because those in the pool age, get more risky and more costly without new folks coming in. This is where most of those quite insane increases of 50, 60, 70% are more likely. And if an insurance company does this, it does not count as a qualifying reason to allow you to switch to a different supplement plan company without medical underwriting. In most states, you cannot just switch to that same company's new open block plan of the same letter rather than its closed block plan that you're stuck in. So this is problematic. Many plans did this in 2024. Some have announced that they will do this to their plans in 2025, and we are bracing for more in 2026. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, well, great, Eric, you've kind of ruined my day. That wasn't the intention. And let's talk about what options you have if you are experiencing these increases to the point where it is difficult to keep up with your existing plan. There are things that everyone can try, regardless of where you live. Then there are things that only certain people can do because of where they live. So first, anyone can attempt to switch Medicare Supplement plan companies and or letters by going through medical underwriting. You answer questions about your health, and if you are healthy, insurance companies are willing to take you. If you have some health issues that are very real but not super problematic, you may be charged more on your new plan than someone else your age, but you could still go on another plan. You just need to compare your existing plan's costs with this new elevated cost plan. If you have moderate to significant health issues, you could be denied getting the new supplement plan. And I want to clarify a couple of things here. If you apply for medical underwriting and you're on a supplement plan, you're applying for a different supplement plan, you aren't automatically kicked off the first one. So if you're on this one, you want to go through underwriting over here, but you're denied on this plan over here, that doesn't mean that you're left with nothing. You're still on this plan, and your agent or broker should help you of if you get approved over here, then they would cancel the old plan and put you on the new one. If you're not approved over here, you're staying on the old one. Another thing I want to clarify is I'll often ask people who reach out and want to try underwriting, well, how is your health? I get responses of all sorts, and I want to give you a little bit of a reframe on how to answer that question in the context of health insurance, because that answer is less about how you feel, and it needs to be considered from the insurance company's perspective. I've had people answer that question with, I feel great. I'm in excellent health. I did have a heart attack last year, though. I've smoked for 40 years, and I had cancer treatments 2 years ago, but I feel great now. Let's try underwriting. So again, if we pretend that you are now the insurance company and someone came to you with that medical history wanting you to cover their bills, would you accept this person at the base level or at all? Or would you pass on that one? Because those are 100% not going to pass underwriting. That is a real story, and it is a bit extreme, but how you feel is not the determining factor here. Insurance companies set their own underwriting rules, so I can't speak for all of them, but some pretty solid conditions that would cause an automatic no would be things like chronic pulmonary disease, so your lungs, chronic cardiovascular issues, so your heart, chronic cognitive and neurological diseases like dementia, Alzheimer's, or strokes, kidney disease, autoimmune conditions like HIV, AIDS, rheumatoid arthritis, psoriatic arthritis, and systemic lupus, diabetes, cancer. That's not an exhaustive list, but it's a pretty good idea of some common conditions that would cause a denial. So going through medical underwriting is an option for everyone, but not everyone will pass. So work with your agent to help you through that. Please, please do not lie on that application, and don't ask your agent to lie for you. That does not end well, and as agents, we are unwilling to commit Medicare fraud on your behalf. And if you do find an agent who is willing to commit Medicare fraud on your behalf, that's a bigger problem than this video. Okay, the next options available to you will depend on where you live. Let's start with the most freedom to switch, which would be varying levels of open enrollment states like Connecticut, Maine, Massachusetts, New York, Vermont, and Washington. A reminder that this is for those of you currently on supplement plans. The rules I'm talking about do not apply to those on Advantage plans in about half of those states and none of the states coming up. If you live in one of these 6 more open enrollment states, you can either switch supplement plans and insurance companies at any time during the year or during specific windows of time each year. The problem for those of you in states like this is that supplement plans here are already quite high cost anyway. In fact, those 6 states that I just rattled off, they make up the 1st, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th highest average cost supplement plan states in the country. On top of that, there isn't as big of a spread between insurance companies in their costs. There is a spread, but not as wide as other states. In more open enrollment states like these, in general, the number of insurance companies who are willing to offer plans here is reduced. It is just too risky, so you have a smaller selection of companies and less differentiation between the group, but there can be opportunities for some savings. So far, we are at 6 states with pretty open rules and options available to you. Next, we have birthday rule states. Birthday rule states allow you the opportunity to switch supplement plans around your birthday without medical underwriting. Each state has its own rules here, so it isn't uniform between all of the birthday rule states. Most states have pretty good birthday rules that allow you to switch both insurance companies and either to the same supplement plan letter or to a lower coverage supplement plan. For example, you could switch from Plan G down to high deductible G or Plan A as examples, but you couldn't switch up to higher coverage plans without going through medical underwriting. Some states have what I consider bad birthday rules, like Illinois, Louisiana, and Utah, that each have their own unique restrictions, like your age, or you're not allowed to switch insurance companies. You have to stay within the plan of the same insurance company. But they are better than nothing, I guess. By January 1st, 2026, the states with active birthday rules would be California, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, Nevada, Oklahoma, Oregon, Utah, Virginia, and Wyoming. If you live in one of these states and your supplement plan costs are getting out of control, work with your agent around your birthday to shop other plans. Now, Missouri is the only state that has an anniversary rule. This means that you can change companies and plans at your plan's anniversary date. For some of you, that may in fact be your birthday, but for others, it's not necessarily around your birthday. So if you live in these states, you do have more flexibility to change your supplement plan without dealing with medical underwriting. With the first 6 most open states, plus the birthday and anniversary rule states, that means that there are 19 total states that have some form of an advantageous switching situation for you and your supplement plan. Minnesota has its own new rule going into effect for the 2026 annual enrollment period season, so the end of 2026, but not this season here at the end of 2025. This all means that for this upcoming 2026 year, in 31 states and Washington, D.C., you do not have helpful switching rules. And if you cannot pass medical underwriting, you really only have 3 options that are, frankly, not the best, so please don't hate the messenger. First, you move forward and you continue to pay those premium cost increases and future increases in order to keep the benefits of having original Medicare and a supplement plan. Second, you can drop the supplement plan and just have original Medicare only. However, this opens you up to unlimited risk with no max out of pocket for Part B and some significant deductibles and copays for Part A that I cover in other videos. Third, you can switch to a Medicare Advantage plan if they are available in your area. Now, I'm not advocating any of these. Those are just the options available for you if you cannot pass underwriting and you are in a state that doesn't have special rules. Now, a common question that I get often is, well, what if I move? Don't I qualify for a special enrollment period? It is a great question, and the answer is, if you're already on a supplement plan, no. Supplement plans travel with you, so if you already have a supplement plan and then you move to another state, the act of moving to another state does not qualify you to be able to pick up a new supplement plan in that new state without going through underwriting. You would update your address with your supplement plan insurance company, and they can adjust rates up or down depending on where you move, but it doesn't count as the chance to be able to get a new supplement plan with no underwriting. That would apply if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, not if you have an existing supplement plan. Now, where it could be beneficial for you is if you did move to one of those 19 states with more flexible switching opportunities, then you could leverage those rules by moving into those states. Those state rules, whether open enrollment, birthday rules, or anniversary rules, are based on you actually living there, not on where you originally purchased your plan. So for those of you who purchased your supplement plan in one of the special states and you move to a state that does not have any special rules, you are now bound by the new state rules in which you live, not the one where you purchased the plan. Now, the idea of whether or not states should allow things like open enrollment or birthday rules is kind of a tricky and sensitive topic. A few other states have different proposals for birthday rules or others in their legislature. Having the ability to escape a dead pool or a poorly performing insurance company is important in my mind, but it always comes at a cost to everyone. In general and over time, the more flexible a state is in its switching opportunities, the less likely many insurance companies will be willing to operate a supplement plan in that state, causing a bit of an oligarchy of sorts between very large health insurance companies with fewer choices, higher prices, and fewer people as a whole in those states who are able to choose and afford supplement plans over other options like Advantage plans. The cost of this freedom to switch tends to shift the dynamics even more to the side of more affluent people being able to afford supplement plans and then pricing out those without higher income or asset levels. So I love the idea of people being able to switch more easily, but the implementation of this tends to cause worse outcomes for more people than it helped. Now, birthday rule states don't have as significant shifts in costs as the most open enrollment states, like those 6 at the beginning, but there is a price adjustment upwards for these states when birthday rules are implemented. Okay, I leave secret code words at the end of my videos to help me with comment management. I'm sure someone will take issue with what I covered here, which is fine, but my hope is that before they type out that mean comment, they've at least watched the full video. So we talked about the moving with supplement plans, and I am a big fan of travel. Any mention of either travel or the Soda Family YouTube channel in your comment will let me know that you've made it at least to this point, and I can take those comments a little bit more seriously. The Soda Family YouTube channel is my little family's travel channel where we document our adventures, and you can see that right here. This video was focused on Medicare Supplement plans. If you're curious to see a similar video that I made on what's coming for Medicare Advantage plans in 2026, that video is right here. I will see you over in one of these.